Guess who I'm back with? Who am I back with? Chat group. Amy!
Oh, thank you, Sharon.
Oh no, thank you, my darling. Thank you. Just making sure the best way to hear you, Amy. Well, I've put this video out on the Unscrambled. I made it, oh gosh, very early in the year, if not the end of last year. I just wanted to say that it's called an anthurium, but Brighton, or this was Hove, had its own Eden project in the 1800s. I was just really shocked. Like, Brighton, the palace in it looked like a mosque, which might fit into Tartaria with the fact that Tartaria comes from the Middle East. And then not only did it have a mosque, it had the oldest aquarium in the world, which is still going. These piers, one which was a suspension bridge, but basically it was half of the suspension bridge, which was the pier, and of course to make the suspension bridge they put the other bit in, but it was drilled into the rocks at Brighton. And you're like, they were suggesting that it was really difficult bringing the coal and the necessary, basic things that people needed, but they could build half a suspension bridge and burrow it into a hill, into the side of the cliff.
That's right.
I mean, they just don't go together, do they? And then, of course, this pier had tons of marble on it. I mean, I've done those videos, and I've got those videos on the channel, on my computer, that I can put back out. But the pier, it had thousands of tons of marble on it. Like, who would put marble on like this? Yeah. So it probably wasn't destroyed in a storm. They destroyed it because they didn't want us to find all this Tartaria or whatever it is. Because there wasn't just that. There was another bridge and so forth out of Brighton towards Shoreham, which goes out towards Littlehampton and Southampton, going that way. And what it is this is a beautiful bridge, but they took all those bits off. And of course now there's another bridge there, but they just took it apart, that one. But anyway, I was just quickly showing you that there was an Eden project. Anyway, basically, what happened was that they were erecting this Eden project, and it had a centre column in it, and they were arguing about the column coming out or staying in or coming out, because obviously with the column out, there was just one big room. With the column in, everybody's going to see that column in the middle of, because they had animals in there and everything. So the column then would have been an eyesore. So they were arguing about that with, the people who were designing it. Oh, there it is, just to show you. I'll leave that on just for a couple more seconds. People can read this if they want while we're talking. Need it to go down a little bit more there. It was near completion in 1883, and then at the last moment they decided to take the column out, and it took a few hours and then crashed. The whole thing collapsed after spending all that time building it. But that's what they say, because we don't know, do we, Amy? We don't know if any of it's true.
That's right.
Or even if it's the dates that they say.
Right, exactly. Don't even know if it's the dates that they say. They're only changing what they tell us and trying to change our history.
Well, what was the bit that yesterday that we found out that they changed? Oh yeah, now President Kennedy's brother is Carter. Like, I just can't believe that. But I'm glad to see that the comments on the channel were that people didn't think that. They thought it was Kennedy. But it's like, where did that come from? Like, unless you put the right thing on the header, unless the news have got it, and you knew that they wouldn't, you'll never find this information because you just don't know about it. And then you know about it because someone's found it, like me.
Yeah,
like me, right, news reporter. Well, sort of. Anyway, so I'm just going down to here. Anyway, it was completed in 1883, but I was just so shocked to find that my parents never told me that.
Oh, well, mine either, I know.
So yours not about Kennedy and Carter. My parents never told me about an Eden project.
No, no. You know, my parents really liked President Kennedy, and they didn't care for Carter. I don't think in a million years they would have thought they were related or anything.
It's really amazing that we've got these memories where we are told things, You know, like, for
Yeah.
instance, Nelson Mandela died, then we forgot about it, then he was president again. And in the first, I just think it's incredible. When he was there the first time, Willie Mandela had everything when he died. She got his house, she got his everything. And then when the second time when he was here, Willie Mandela didn't get anything because obviously she was evil and he divorced her and she didn't get anything. So, I mean, it's just like what games they play with us.
Yes, such games. That's right.
Anyway, I've done quite a lot about the piers, and I can put the pier videos back out as time goes on to show everybody that. But there was 3 parts to this. Look, part 1, it was built somewhere else. Then part 2, it was built here. And then obviously part 3, but of course it collapsed. So I'm a bit shocked about that. I never realised. We're gonna have a quick look at this, Amy. So the first one was built in a different place to the other one. Adelaide Crescent towards the sea. It's a unique structure. And it was, yeah, so he was born in 1779. I thought that's when they were building the, anyway, never mind, we'll carry on. And then plans for an Oriental garden. See, how did they have the money for this in 1825?
Right.
Kings Road seafront, because we're talking of Hove here, not Brighton. And then the finance was forthcoming. The site was sold in 1827. So first failed enterprise, and then of course they carried on. I'm not going to go any further on that. I think that's enough because obviously this is what came out of it, and what it was is that this place here came out of it. When it collapsed, they left it lying there for years until people came in and cleared it. They took the glass. So I thought that was amazing.
Wow.
That's on my other video. That one's on Unscrambled. But it collapsed. They didn't know what to do with it, and they thought about rebuilding it. And then they were going to, just like all these other things in Brighton, they were going to put that pier back, and then they didn't. And then eventually people came along and took the glass because there was so much glass.
Yeah, wow.
But the reason because obviously I've made this video, like I said, it's on the Unscrambled channel, but I wanted to get to here, which was domes in Brighton. I mean, look at that one. Anybody think we were in the Middle East or something there? The Royal Pavilion Museum, Brighton. So when they're on top of that, wow. Because that's an old picture, isn't it?
Yeah.
It says the Brighton Dome was built 1803 and 1808 and stands 65 foot tall and 80 foot in diameter. I'm going to put my other glasses on because I can't read the writing. Let's just wipe my glasses. Brighton Dome was built, yeah, I've done a bit. At the time it was one of the largest domed structures in the world. What is it about the UK? I mean, that's quite... Little Diddy England has the biggest dome structure in the world.
Oh, I know.
Did you know that Brighton's dome isn't exactly circular shaped building located in the city? Domes have been part of the city's architecture since the Royal Pavilion estate was established by Prince Regent in the 1800s. And many of the buildings are still standing. From riding stables to a hospital to hosting Eurovision Brighton Dome. Eurovision, that's that, yeah, you know that programme, don't you? No, you don't have that. That's one thing America doesn't have, is the Eurovision Song Contest, but it's very political, Amy. And we always come last because we didn't agree with Europe, did we? So we always came last.
Right.
As a little girl, I loved watching it, but of course that's when I was a little girl. Anyway, Brighton Dome has been significantly versatile and its features can be found in many of the other domes in Brighton too. Here are just a few of the domed structures that can be found in the city. You can use the list to a guide to find them whenever you are out and about. So Massoons, oh my god, how do you say that? It's not mausoleum, it's Mausoleum. Mausoleum, it is. Oh yeah, it's mausoleum.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody don't know, I'm actually dyslexic, but that wasn't my fault. That was the government putting a stupid ITA thing in and then nobody noticing I couldn't read and write when I was a little girl. Then I spent the whole junior school doing nothing. I must have been so bored, but anyway, I am a bit dyslexic, but through being taught the wrong thing and then, like, yeah, anyway, years of my life. Now I can't see anything, my glasses are all messed up. Anyway, we're getting back onto this. I just find it amazing that I just wonder how many people really look into all this history, because it's great what's left. They found on Eastern Terrace in Kemp Town. This dome structure is currently a cabaret venue, but has a history stretching back to the late 1900s. It was built in 1892 as a mausoleum by Sir Albert Abdullah Sassoon, a member of the wealthy Jewish family from Iraq. For him and his families remain to be laid to rest. God, he must have been rich. That must be Tartaria, though.
Yes.
What they're actually talking about is Tartaria.
It sounds that way, yes.
Because, I mean, the bodies were removed in the 1930s after it was sold, and it became an air raid shelter during the Second World War. Since then, it has largely been a bar and entertainment venue. I don't know if I remember that, because obviously I grew up in Brighton, so it has largely been a bar and entertainment venue with locals knowing it as Bombay Bar and Lbry Arms. Anyway, yeah, there it is. It's quite beautiful. It's quite a beautiful building.
Yes.
And again, you can see that a lot of this. Hang on, I'm just gonna move this. Got to move the recorder. Come on. It's below the ground, if people can see. So that is some mud flood. Anyway, just off Western Road is a house with a domed roof and looks completely out of place compared to the rest of the area. Just moving the picture down a little bit. Here we go. It was the home of Eamon Henry Wilds, a well-known Brighton architect who wanted to replicate the style of the Royal Pavilion. Wilds and his father were both architects and both influenced by domes and Oriental fashions. Other projects by Wilds included Oriental Place, Park Crescent, and the Royal Albion Hotel. Wow, yeah, it's quite an amazing. It's not like that now, though.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's go back up here. At the time, the Anthurium and Palmyra Square were one of the most ambitious dome projects in the world. What? Designed by Eamon Henry Wilds, it was the vision of the botanist. It's botanist. I'm struggling here. I can see the words. Sometimes I struggle saying them, so do bear with me. It was a vision of a botanist and landscape gardener, Henry Phillips, who wanted to build a huge flower house similar to today's Eden project, but with a much bigger dome than St Paul's Cathedral in London. It was due to open in 1883, but unfortunately things didn't go to plan, and that's what the video on Unscrambled Channel is. It's about that dome. Much like the Brighton Dome, they were certain that the aquarium, the Anthurium, would collapse when the scaffolding was removed, and sadly fears came true, and one day when it was due to be open, the dome roof collapsed. Henry Phillips went blind with stress as a result of his dreams disappeared in seconds. Wow. Anyway, there's the temple. Alright, the temple. These are domes in Brighton. Thomas Reed Kemp's temple was most likely built by Eamon Wilds Sr., as he had designed many of Kemp's other architecture projects. Kempt was the man behind Sussex Square and Lewis Road Crescent, and Kempt Town, it was named after him. The building was called the Temple, as it was similar in size to Solomon's Temple, in ancient Jerusalem. Originally designed as Kempt's home in Brighton, it became a boys' school in 1828. Today the building is part of the Brighton Girls' School, and while there is no sign of the domed roof, one of the buildings names the Temple in honour of the original building. Yeah, because they'd have had to have destroyed it, because they wouldn't want us knowing the truth, would they?
Of course not. That's right.
I don't know if I can say these names right. Chattri. What's that? Chattery. Chattery. Do excuse it. I'm sorry. All these words are like. Oh, anyway, it's all very Tartaria like for me. Don't you think, Amy?
Yeah, I think so. There's this word to pronounce.
I still think something happened in the 1800s, just when Victoria came to power, and these buildings all could come from before that, so they were built the 17 into the 1800s, and that's why they had to destroy bits of them and make it not look like it originally was. Anyway, on the South Down, just outside Brighton in Chattery, a doomed memorial to the Hindu. See, this has got to be part of Tartaria, because it is. Oh my goodness. Anyway, and the oh my goodness, and Sikh soldiers who died in Brighton as casualties in the First World War. Many of these soldiers would have been treated by the Royal Pavilion estate hospitals, which included the use of Brighton's domed concert hall, where over 4,000 men were cared for. The Chattery was designed by E.C. Henriques and means umbrella in Hindu, Punjabi and Urdu, which signifies the protection offered to the memorial for those who died. Yeah, because Tartaria is Middle Eastern. And then look at this. It says Brill's Baths. So this was a bath. There's a man on the top, but look at that. I don't remember that myself in Brighton. It's probably all gone. I just think that's amazing. Look at that.
Yeah.
How lovely. What a shame. Anyway, last part. The Dome Style Common in Brighton during the Regency period was founded by the upper classes who streamed into Brighton as it became a popular seaside resort. Probably always was with those monuments and stuff. Their arrival saw the rise of luxury pastimes such as private baths, with many popping up and around the town. It would be better if I said what was there. Brill's Baths in the Pool Valley area was one of these, costing $90,000 and containing various baths, a barber, and reading and billiards room. $90,000.
Wow.
We're talking of the 1800s here. Well, like, okay, it was demolished in 1929, which we'll read that in a minute. But so it was built so this place was built in the 1800s, and it cost $90,000 to build. Like, wow.
I know.
The circular gentleman's bath was 65 foot in diameter, making it the largest in Europe at the time. So, largest, tallest, biggest, oldest in Brighton. I told you I got so carried away with Brighton when I found the Eden Project that it had the first aquarium, and the fact that they were able to do these drawings which looked like they'd been up in the sky. I mean, maybe they did it from a hot air balloon. I was thinking, how could they get that concept? Just the whole of the buildings, the Regency buildings, it made it look like an open palace. And then, of course, we've got the Brighton Dome, which looks like a mosque.
Yes.
So, yeah, Tartaria. Its popularity continued until the 20th century, and it was eventually demolished in 1929, making way for the Savoy Cinema. Oh, probably been there to the cinema. We used to go on Saturdays, Amy. My mum used to give us like 20p, and that means I could get 2 toffee logs and 2 toffee strips, and that would last me all morning, sucking away on those things in the cinema for 20p.
Oh, it sounds really nice.
Yeah, but anyway, that's what I wanted to feel. I was quite impressed with that place. I've never seen that before, and obviously this is left from what was before, and so was that.
Yeah.
Domes, and then another dome there, and then that place is domed, but that was a reconstruction for something else. And I mean, look at that. In Little England, looks like India, doesn't it? Or the Middle East. Anyway,
Yeah.
Amy, it's your turn to talk. What do you make of that then?
Oh, it's just really fascinating, and obviously I think this is all part of the Tartaria there, and it's just amazing how much we never heard anything about this till you really start looking.
No, because do you remember me telling you about Martin Leakey? He found these drawings which said that they were from the 1700s, and basically what they were was they'd mapped out the nervous system of a human in the 1700s. It's obvious they probably could, because look at their buildings. Look what's being built. Look at it. That one was a little bit different, that one. But these ones, these are old. These are the end of Tartaria. Who would have thought? Yeah. Anyway, systematically, I read in an article that they've been destroying our buildings for hundreds of years. And this is why, because they didn't want us to find out the truth.
Right.
Anyway, Amy, do you want to finish it off? What have you got to say? What have you got to say, madam?
Yeah, I always wonder what they're hiding about Tartaria, or why they've kept it so secretive, and why do they want to hide it? Like, what is it that they don't want us to know? I guess that's a question that we just have to contemplate. I don't know if we'll ever really find the answer to.
Is that because we were run by someone else then?
Yeah, maybe so.
I mean, for all we know, that could have been a reset in the 1800s. And then they got the government, because that's when government came in, because Queen Victoria passed over. And we already know something big happened in about in the 1830s. So what it was is the people, it's not showing it, but maybe that was a reset then. And then, what is it, 1830? So nearly 200 years later, they're resetting us again.
Maybe so. It sounds that way. That's a strong possibility, I think.
Maybe Tartaria one. We're going back Tartarian.
Oh, that's a interesting thought, yes.
Who knows? But thank you very much for listening to, well, basically me waffling on there. Oh, it's even got Moulin Rouge on there.
Oh, I saw that. Yes.
Oxo camp coffee. Oxo are cubes, Amy, that you break up and you can make gravy or put it in your food. That says, does that say sex wanted? What's that on there? I can't. Oh, sea. Sea water swimming. I thought I couldn't see in my glasses. It looked like an X, but it's an A. Woo. And then it's got Moulin Rouge.
I saw that, Karen. Yes, I did notice that. I forgot to mention it, but I didn't see that.
Yeah. Anyway, it says Brill's Baths on it. Amazing. I don't really know what this top bit is, because I don't know what that is. It looks like I don't know what it is. It's like nothing's happening in there, or they're mending it, or they're taking it down, or I don't know what that is up there. But anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, there'll be more. I love Tartaria, I really do, even if you find only little bits of it. Don't you, Amy?
Yeah, I do. It's fascinating.
What gets me though is Brighton is covered in it.
Yes.
And I also will put one out about windmills, because I looked up windmills, and windmills aren't just to grind things, they're to extract the water out. And basically, say we had 500 windmills in England, just say it was that amount, 300 of them were around Brighton. So Brighton must have been flooded when that pier went, or whatever they did. Oh, who knows? Just a summary, that one, because we don't know. But it just seems really strange that now we realise what windmills were, and there was loads of them around Brighton.
Yes.
I saw it on you got like the book which showed all the windmills, and then you looked Brighton. I was really shocked.
I know.
Anyway, from me and Amy, goodbye everybody, and lovely Amy. Mwah.
Lovely Karen.
We've changed our names. We have to go to the thing and write, I am now lovely Amy, and then your surname, and I go, I'm lovely Karen Pettit. I have to change my name.
That's right.
And of course Monique came through, and she was going, lovely Karen, and so we go, lovely Monique.
That's right. Lovely.
Everybody is lovely. Well, nearly everybody, not everybody.
Nearly everybody.
Nearly everybody. Anyway,
Right.
thank you everybody.